My trading portfolio has done 31% in the last 115 days, which is 5 months excluding weekends. So we're only counting weekdays. And the best part about it all is none of the trades were actually done by myself. In fact, I have a software that executed 100% of those trades. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what the performance has looked like over this period. Without further ado, let's get right to it. Welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name is Matt Jimenez. I'm an entrepreneur who's worked with the greatest minds in finance over the last several years, and I'm here to pour into you guys everything important to me. And if you've been following this page, you know that I have a trading software in which I've been monitoring, and every single month I recap its performance. And today is December 1st, and I want to go over not only the entire performance since when I started this algorithm, but also the performance in November. Now, enough of my boring talking, let's look at the data. So this is my Dalio bot. I started this account with $9,954, and it is currently sitting at $13,059. As you can see, the total gain up top is 31%. My daily average is 0.16% gain. My monthly average is sitting at 4.86%. Now, before you talk about that number being potentially low, you have to understand the context. I started this account this year, which is 2024, back in June, but it was the very tail end of June. In fact, it was over a weekend. And the way this software works, it only trades when the markets are open. So it didn't have those trading days. So technically, it started in July. And the max drawdown that I've seen is 11.20%. And the cool thing about this software is that I have a basket stop loss. So if the trades go against me too far and I'm using up a lot of margin and the drawdown is greater than 20%, all the trades will be automatically closed out. So that way I protect my equity and I don't take further loss that is unnecessary. Scrolling down a bit, we could see my equity curve here. In layman terms, the yellow line is representing the unrealized profit and gain, and the red one is representing the realized loss and or profit. As you can see, during the drawdowns, the actual realized growth of the account did not change because none of the trades were closed out in the negative, nor did anything ever hit my stop loss. So while the yellow line may take a dip, the red line, which is representing the actual equity inside of the account, did not take any hits, nor has it even taken a dip. Scroll down a bit. As you can see, this year, my total profit has been $3,107, putting me at 31% growth on the account in this time that I've started this software. The total amount of trades that it's taken since I've had it, it's done 1,175 trades, and its profitability has been 71%, which puts the account at the obvious 29% of trades that lose. And what that boils down to in the amount of trades is 836 of them I win and 339 of them I have lost. The next important thing I like to look at for performance is something's profit factor. And if you don't know what profit factor is, to get you up to speed, it's basically how much you're willing to risk for how much you're able to gain. So in this case, my profit factor sitting at 2.14 means for every dollar I'm risking, I am able to gain 2 times that, hence the 2. Scrolling down a bit further to see the month-to-month change, as you can see to the far left, in June when I said I started it, there is 0 change because nothing actually happened with the account because I started it on a weekend. Then going into July, I actually didn't even have the account running till somewhere around the end of July. So it didn't have many trading days, which is why July only saw a 0.63%, which is still good considering a financial advisor managing money. Typically, they don't even get 1% in a month. This almost did 1% in a few days in the month of July. Popping over to August, you could see we did 8% in 1 month. In September, we did 5.17%. In October, we did 9.77%. And in November, we just closed out at 4.56%. And all of this is third-party verified information from MyFX book. This is not data that I'm just pulling up out of nowhere to make up. As you can see down below, this is the risk to reward ratios for November. I find this extremely interesting because I could see which pairs I'm most profitable on. As you can see, Euro Franc. So on that particular pair, I was extremely profitable. Back to the point I was making earlier about profit factor. Again, how much are we willing to risk in order to gain? And looking over at the negative ones like Euro NZD, I was actually in the negative risk to reward at 0.99. Now scrolling down to all the pairs it traded in the month of November, and it's illustrated quite nicely on a pie chart to show how much of its trades went to a particular pair. The highest pair, which is Euro AUD, sitting at 16.8%, almost 17% of its trade volume went to this pair. And the lowest lowest trade volume was GBP franc sitting at 1.4%. I always like looking at this chart because it's quite interesting. What I'm curious to find out, scrolling up a bit, if we look at the risk reward ratios and we go through all of them, I ask myself, if I can find a commonality of the most profitable ones, could I exclude the negative ones and only keep the most profitable pairs? Something that crosses my mind, but it's not anything I've actually made a decision on because it's always changing. Every month is different. Now let's touch back on November, scroll down a bit. For the month of November, most of the trades actually look to be long. The green bar is showing how many positions were long and the red showing how many were short. And the cool thing about this software is I actually have it attached to the phone, in which I was screen sharing to show you guys all of this data. Now with this being said, this phone goes with me everywhere I go, meaning my trading algorithm goes with me everywhere I go. I'm going to get out of this and explain what I mean by that. I'm going to click my MT5 terminal, and on this MT5 terminal, it shows all of the active trades. I don't really need to show you guys the phone because it tracks all of the active trades here for me, in which I could see what's going on. And if I wanted, I could technically close trades out by just clicking close position. So basically, when I am out and about, I have my phone with me, meaning I have my trading algorithm and it's attached to the internet, so I don't actually have to be anywhere to do this because it's on an alternative server. I am able to go anywhere around the world essentially and take my algorithm with me and monitor it, or I could just leave it be. But my point being here is I have full sovereignty of being able to monitor it and make sure everything is running appropriately. So I could close positions or pause trading. I could do whatever I want whenever I want. And if I pop over to the history, it has all the log trades in which I could see dating all the way back to the very first trade it took. And in fact, I want to show you the exact first trade that was taken, which was July 19th. Like I said, I know I had the account in June, but trading didn't happen until middle of July. So that lag time has actually affected the average because it's recorded as it being active, even though it wasn't active. So I think that the monthly average would be a bit higher than this, even though 4%, a little over 4% is absolutely amazing. Your financial advisor probably wouldn't get that in an entire year. And I have every single trade documented, which is amazing. And if I just hit the charts here, you can see all the trades that have been taken. All the arrows resemble positions that this algorithm found. And the red ones are sells and the blue ones are buys. And when it's dotted to the next arrow is when it shows it being closed out. As you can see, these three red arrows are sell positions in which they closed out at that blue arrow. And I could go all the way back through all the charts and find all the positions that were taken visually, which helps me a lot understand how this thing operates on a more intimate level. And if you found all that information very interesting, I actually wanted to formally invite you to a webinar in which you could dive deep into seeing how this would fit potentially into your portfolio moving forward into the future. All you got to do is hit the link down below and book your spot, as this webinar will be booking up, and it will be an in-person live webinar in which you could freely ask whatever you need. So if you want to get your hands on a software that has the power to trade all the time for you, I'm excited to see you on the webinar. Safe trading, my friends. Peace.